Major money milestones. Look, when it comes to the money game, right? Sometimes you just got to take a look at yourself and look at the man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror in Vanessa's case or our friends out there. Take a look in the mirror like Michael Jackson. I'm talking to the man in the mirror. Sometimes you got to assess yourself, and sometimes you need to do? You need to make that change, right? So when it comes to these major money milestones, here's what I want you to do. I want you to find out where you're at, depending on your age. Are you reaching these 5 important financial milestones? And this is an article from Go Banking Rate. So let's get into these major money milestones. So if you care about reaching financial independence, this is something that we're obviously very concerned about. That's why we're here talking money. Here are a few of the big ones that you need to accomplish. Number 1, are you ready? Number 1. You think I'm going to start with save that money? Obviously,
yeah, absolutely.
That's like before you've even you've saved that money already. Then you're gonna we're graduating.
Gotcha.
Number 1, have an active brokerage account in your 20s. Do you have an active brokerage account yet?
No, I'm actively broke though.
Oh. Okay. So if you're young today, young David, Vanessa up there, congratulations, right? Your knees work.
Yeah.
You can go out drinking. You're not hungover for 3 days.
I walk funny, but my knees work.
But the best thing that you got on your side, the greatest thing that every young investor, every young person has on their side is time. T-I-M-E. Time. Time is your greatest weapon. Yeah, so you don't need a lot of money or investing experience when you get time on your side. You get the greatest tool of all, time, right? So all you got to do is start kicking in some of your spare change, investing. You're maxing out certain brokerage accounts, your retirement accounts, and then you let compounding do the rest. Vanessa, I would love to actually see you, maybe. But, we forgot about that. But anyway, so that's number 1. Have an active brokerage account in your 20s. This can be, I look at this 2 ways. Number 1, this might just be a retirement account. We talk about all the time, a 401k or a Roth IRA or an IRA. These are retirement accounts. Cool. Or just a brokerage account. Maybe that's with a robo-advisor or a low-cost trading platform, or you can invest or trade stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, important things. Right. David, I know that you're learning, and we said by 100 episodes in, you're going to be a billionaire. So in order to get to that point in your life, we got to get you a brokerage account. You ready to do this?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
We got a 401k here at Valuetainment. Have you not signed up for that?
I
We're going to do that after the show, buddy. All right. So anyone out there, that's number 1. Start with an active brokerage account in your 20s. Number 2, be one of those well-qualified buyers you keep hearing about in your 30s. What does that mean? Well-qualified buyers are the people with excellent credit, which means their credit scores are north of 700 and approaching 800. Did you know, David, what do you think the highest possible credit score is? And if you guys know it in the comment section, highest possible credit score. Do you know the number?
It's got to be like, what, 900 something?
Okay, that's your guess, 900? Yeah. Vanessa? Highest possible credit score?
1,000.
1,000. People in the comment section, what do we got?
It's got to be something
King
north
Otto.
of 800.
All right, the number is 850. 850. You weren't bad. You were at
I was ambitious.
You weren't bad. All right, so 850. The FICO credit scoring system, that's what people use. It goes all the way up to 850. So those with 800 or more, they're able to get the lowest rates. They're able to get the best deals when they take out loans and then finance purchases. Now me, I'm not a person that basically, one of the things I always say is, you know what's more important than a high credit score?
What's that?
A high net worth.
Bingo.
When you got a lot of money and your net worth is chilling, as I'd like to say, you don't necessarily need to put a lot of things on credit or rely on your credit score. But it is important to have a high credit score versus a low credit score. So if you're in the 750, 800 range, you're doing great. If you're anywhere near 850, you're crushing the game. So here's an analogy. You know what I would equate the credit score to?
What's that?
A good GPA.
Ooh.
Okay? But a good GPA or a good credit score doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be successful, guaranteed in life. As an example, Pat always talks about having a 1.8 GPA. The guy's doing okay. He's got 1.8, comma after that. The guy's doing all right. So it's important, the credit score, the GPA is an analogy right there. So just like in school, you kind of want to have a good credit score so you can go on the class trip, right? So make sure you got a good GPA. Number 3, this is something we talked about in one of the first podcasts, how much money you should have by a certain age. In your 40s, you should have 3 times your salary saved up for retirement, okay? So number 1, we talked about having an active brokerage account in your 20s. Number 2, be one of those well-qualified buyers you keep hearing about in your 30s, high credit score. Number 3, have 3 times your salary saved up for retirement in your 40s. So to put it in perspective, by age 30, you should have your annual salary saved for retirement. So what does that mean? You make 50 G's a year. By age 30, you should have 50 grand in your retirement account. Okay, not bad. But by age 40, you should have 3 times your annual salary, okay, in a retirement account. So if you make 50 grand a year, use that analogy, that's 150 grand in a 401k or a Roth IRA or in a retirement account. Awesome. That's 6 times your annual salary by age 50. That's followed by 8 times your annual salary by age 60 and 10 times by retirement age, which is typically 67. So I know that 10 times sounds a little bit crazy, but the younger you start, the easier it'll be. You can get there. Okay. Number 4 on this list, right? There's 5 tips that we're going through. Number 4, have your end-of-life affairs in order by your 50s.
Ooh.
This to me is a little controversial. It's like by your 50s, you need to be, but yeah, things happen. 50s, you know, a generation ago when life expectancy was 65, 67 in this country, by 50, you were already, you're already in the 3rd quarter of life. By 50 now, if you're taking care of yourself, you're maybe at the midway point, right? Like, you know, people are healthy. So, but like Biggie's album, Ready to Die, you never know, okay? So they recommend basically getting your affairs in order with things like trusts, living trusts, power of attorney, making sure that you got insurance in place, inheritance, what's going to happen, wills and trusts that we always talk about, long-term care. So if we have people in their 50s that are watching the show, these are things that you maybe need to be focusing on. This is the difference between leaving a lasting legacy or leaving behind basically a cluttered mess to your beneficiaries and your loved ones. So it can get ugly out there. It ain't pretty, some of this stuff to talk about, what we talked about, your end-of-life affairs by age 50. But I don't know anybody that's ever lived forever. So eventually that time is going to come. So it ain't fun. It ain't pretty to talk about, but it needs to get done. That's number 4. Number 5, to wrap this one up, you got to have a supplementary income stream by, you know what, by what age?
Oh, God, what?
By what age?
26.
What he said.
Something so too soon.
No matter your age. Whether you're in your 20s, your 30s,
Tricky
your 40s,
question.
your 50s, it was a trick question. I think we
Got
learned.
me.
I gotcha. I think we learned during the pandemic, you never know what's going to happen. Do you have a side hustle you can monetize, right? Side hustle was never a thing a generation ago. Nobody had side hustles. You had a job that you maybe worked at for 40 years and, you know, you collected a pension, your gold watch, that's it. You're out the door. Now, everybody's got a side hustle. To put things in perspective, I've worked in financial services in the life settlement world for almost 15 years. That's my income stream. That's how I met Pat at an insurance conference, 10 years ago. This little show, Soz Talks Money, once started as a little side hustle, me telling a buddy of mine, hey, I really think that millennials kind of don't understand how money work and kind of want to help some people out. And I'm very fortunate that I've become this successful person in my field and I want to help people. And it started off as an idea that turned into a side hustle that turned into my own show here on Valuetainment. So a side hustle starts on the side and eventually maybe takes the place of your real career. Anyway, that's a little side hustle. Clearly, with the pandemic and everything that's happened with that, I think people are recognizing the importance of a side hustle.
Talk is money. All we talk is money.
If you enjoyed that short clip from the Sozcast, click here to watch another. Click here to watch the full episode, or just stay broke.